Hi, everybody. I'm officially playing hooky from my day job over at Annenberg, so please don't tell on me. I've actually literally been running back and forth because the panels have been so incredible here, and all of you are so incredible. David, you are so right. We need to have more conferences like this, that I've been dashing back and forth. So, David, as always, thank you for including me and giving me this phenomenal assignment. Incredibly excited to be having a conversation with our entrepreneurs of the year, Katie Rodan and Kathy Field. As Dean Ellis referenced, it's a remarkable achievement to build $1 billion business, as you all did with Proactive. It's another to do it again, as you did with rodan+fields, the country's top-selling skincare line. So I'm thrilled to bring up to the stage Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields, who will share a little bit of their journey with us.
It's great to be here. Hi.
Hello.
What an honor. Wow. I never expected this when I was a student here at USC. So,
really?
Studying medicine.
Studying medicine. What year did you graduate? Am I allowed to ask?
Yeah, of course. Let me see, when did I graduate? 1981. Was it 81? 70? No.
Never mind.
83. 83.
Right.
We know you know numbers.
Programs. We know you know numbers,
83,
but we won't worry about that
83,
one.
that's right.
So I want to hear, obviously we want to hear about your business journey, but I would love for you all to start at what is the foundation of that journey, which is your relationship and your partnership. You met at Stanford when you were dermatology residents. And what came first, the friendship or the business idea?
Well, that was easy. She was trying to get me married. So, to his brother.
You were a good catch.
Hey, good thinking. Good thinking got away. Anyway, so we started out back at Stanford 1,000 years ago, and we were more alike than different. And so the way we looked at life, the world, problems, everything, was close and growing all the time. So it started with great chemistry. And it started way back in the trenches, because if you don't know the order, it's med school, then residency. So med school, internship, residency. We met at residency at Stanford. So it was 3 years of hell.
That was fun.
That was fun.
It was fun. You know, it was a great training ground for us, because we had an amazing mentor in our chairman, Dr. Gene Farber. And he would say to us, find a hobby in dermatology. Otherwise, you residents, you should find something like, derm surgery or allergic skin reactions or something like that, because otherwise you're going to get out into private practice and all you're going to see is acne and you're going to be bored. And
y'all sure took that to heart.
Well,
Talk about
you know what?
hobby.
Listen, I loved acne. So when he said that was like music to my ears, because I had acne as a teenager. And so that's what drove me all the way from being a history major in college into med school, into residency.
That's what drove you on that journey?
Having acne, yeah. You know what, for so many of us, I think the businesses that we choose are really boiled down to something very personal. Something that we're really trying to solve a need within ourselves. And we really understand at a very deep level, in the case of acne, the real emotional connection there is between skin, the quality of your skin, your self-esteem, your self-confidence. And so we got that right away as derm residents. And so helping people, which has been our mission, give people the best skin of their lives, helping people to manage difficult skin conditions, whatever they may be, has really been our mission since the very beginning.
So you discovered a gap in the market with Proactive. What did you see then?
Oh, that's a big paradox, because when we were starting out, before you were born, it was spot kill. You would get Clearasil, the most powerful, and burn off the pimple. Well, my husband, the dentist, will tell you that's like brushing your teeth after the cavity. You blew it. So the way to treat acne is treat the whole face every day with low-strength medicine, not burn your face off medicine, and not with one, but with several. Katie and I figured that out. We went to our meetings, so never skip meetings. And we knew what the masses, going to your Walgreens or grocery store, didn't tell the public. And that was the big aha. And it was a paradigm shift from how this is now we launched Proactive in 95, but the project took a long time to get there. So the years going through that and creating the products literally started in her kitchen.
All right, so you had this idea you were going to treat the whole face, right? The whole
Low
skin
strength
and
medicine.
not just, kill and burn.
Every day.
And then what happened? So you have this great idea and you tell whom?
So, so as Kathy said, it started in my kitchen. My husband's really the chef in the family, so not me. So it's kind of ironic. But anyway, what happened is I think really it was such a surprise, really, to see. I know from, again, my acne days as a teenager, nothing had really changed, and it didn't make sense. So we had an idea, let's make a product. We had no idea how to make a product. I mean, that's the other part about being an entrepreneur. Don't be afraid to go where you don't know. You'll figure it out. And we had no idea. I remember even calling up an esthetician who worked in Kathy's office and taking her out for Chinese food and saying, you go in the back and you mix up products. Like, how do you do that? And she's looking at us like, are you crazy? And we realized we need a cosmetic chemist. So that's how rudimentary it was. So we had this idea. It really, the genesis of it came from our personal experience as well as patients, and finding out what patients were using, what they were liking, what they didn't like. And then it was a lot of trial and error of working with a chemist, making a product, trying it out on, people like you guys who come to our practices, and seeing what worked for them and what didn't, and modifying it.
Okay, so there's a big leap from having some great products that you use within your practice to deciding to start a business. You bootstrapped the business back in a day when we didn't call it bootstrapping.
Yeah.
Right. There really wasn't a language or a culture around entrepreneurship. As there
really,
is today in the 90s.
Yeah, I don't even think if you'd asked us, we'd call ourselves entrepreneur. I mean, that's just like, what,
So, but you bootstrapped it. You funded.
Yes.
You funded this development yourself.
Yeah.
How?
So basically, our day job, we were practicing medicine. Katie was already well into her family. I finally got married. Yay. So all this was going on as life, and parents and moms and daughters. We had a lot going on. But on the nighttime, we were compelled. There's the word. Compelled to see this project through. Why? In one part, health insurance had changed. People had no access to a dermatologist as it became HMO medicine. So if you had good acne, you were out there in the grocery store trying to figure it out with that wall of confusion. What am I going to treat myself with? So we knew we had to do something because of this aha moment of they're doing it wrong. They have no access to doctors. How can we help people? That was the compelling motivation.
All right, so
but to your question about bootstrapping it, how are we able to do it? Well, one, we had no choice. I mean, there was no one that was going to invest in us. We were two doctors. We had an idea. It was a crazy idea.
Did you approach investors?
I remember we talked to people, and we would say, we're seeing this problem. It's acne. We think it's much bigger than what the market is really reporting. I know the market at the time was like $250 million, which was like bupkis to somebody who was an investor. And we said, we think it's bigger, and we have an idea. Nobody was really taking us very seriously. So if you, as Kathy said, if you are compelled to do something, you're going to make it happen no matter what. And we literally made it happen with probably a sum total of around $30,000, I think was the sum total of investment that we made with Proactive. And I can even share with you the details of our first contract, which are pretty funny.
Go ahead.
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. I think this sort of says it all. I have it hanging actually in my dining room. It's the best piece of art I own. It's typed up on a typewriter. Do you guys know what a typewriter looks like? Okay, I typed it up. It says, Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields are 50-50 partners in a business to make skincare products. All profits will be shared equally, as will all expenses. Any expense over $50 must be approved by both parties prior to incurring the expense. So that tells you how broke we were. We were down to, I got to buy diapers this month. You can't buy that product prototype. So, but I think again, it's another one of those messages of it doesn't necessarily take money to make money. And people always say that, and people always think when you have an idea, you've got to run out and look for an investor. And you really don't necessarily. And I think the luckiest thing that has ever happened to us is that no one wanted to invest in us. So we have done this all on our own.
Yeah. First message, go as far as you can without any help at all.
That's good advice.
Don't waste money. Nowadays, with the internet, we didn't have that luxury, but we invented a blue ocean. There was a red ocean in the over-the-counter market, and we saw a unique niche and opportunity. We broadened it because it wasn't just teenage acne, it was adult acne. This was a greatly overlooked group of people that said only 3% of adults have acne, and we decided, and it was Katie's thought right there and there, all 3% live in San Francisco and go to our office, or the number is wrong. So it was a big aha, and again, adding to, we got to do this because there is no access to be able to treat this condition.
But eventually you decided to go knocking on some doors. Tell me the story about when you went to go visit that little tiny cosmetic company by the name of Neutrogena.
Oh, that was funny. Boy, I remember that day like it was yesterday. I remember buying the suit or borrowing the suit and ironing it. You know, we got off the plane and it was crazy. Anyway, we find we're able to get into the door of Neutrogena because they would come as they would come to our derm meetings. So we would meet people, and then eventually we worked our way up. So we met with the CEO and the president at the time, owner at the time, because it wasn't part of Johnson & Johnson, of Neutrogena, and we told them our idea. You know, we went in there with a non-disclosure agreement, which is, not worth a lot when you have no resources behind it to go after a big company. But anyway, we thought it would help. We go there, and we present our idea. We've got a 3-step acne treatment system. There's nothing on the market that exists like it, blah, blah. We even have a name. It's called Proactive. And you know, we think that and if you don't like the name, that's okay, you can change the name. You know, we just like, please help us. And the CEO of Neutrogena is a wonderful man named Alan Kurtzman, said to us, I know how you're gonna sell this product. You're gonna sell it on an infomercial. And I remember thinking, he's like insulting us. We went to Stanford, we were like on TV, like, no, just you sell it. We're not gonna sell our product on TV. And he said, no, there is a new format, a new way of selling. And we think it's perfect because you can tell the story, you can explain the point of difference. And if we did it and took your product put it in the drugstore shelf, it would never sell against our $3.99 Zits Away product. So this would be a good opportunity for you. And then, of course, 2 weeks later, they call us, they thumbs down, they turn us down. We're convinced they're going to copy us. And, you know, but again, as every entrepreneur knows, you pick yourself up by your bootstraps and you march forward and something else turns up.
Well, what turned up was Guthy Renker and direct marketing. So how did that happen, and how did you make that shift between, no, I can't do that, I'm a doctor from Stanford, to like, this is the way to go?
Okay, Katie will tell you how that happened, but I'll tell you, as an entrepreneur, you need to be prepared to take a risk. And so there were maybe 60 channels that were on television in the mid-90s. Infomercials were just going. They had zero integrity. It was a Slicer Dicer. I won't name them. They may be watching. So we were nervous. We were frightened. What could this guy be serious that we would be on TV pitching pimple creams? Very scary, very scary. But then something happened. So that's Katie's story. Go ahead.
No, it goes back to that, my favorite saying, which is Louis Pasteur said, luck favors the prepared mind. So the CEO of Neutrogena told us, you need to make an infomercial, and then lo and behold, my parents at a judges conference meet up with the owners of an infomercial company that was just starting up, Guthy Renker. And I mean, it's just crazy that happened, but that definitely opened the door, and he opened our mind to the opportunity that would present in finding a new avenue of distribution, which was very educational for us, especially when we started our next company.
Educational, how so?
Well,
sorry for not knowing this, did you go on TV and sell your own
oh
products?
yeah, oh yeah,
For
yeah.
20
yeah,
years.
you didn't
And
have
did you learn-
teenagers.
And
so-
did you learn, right, exactly, did you learn to love it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what? It turned out to be, he was absolutely 100% right. It was a great way to educate the public, especially when you have a unique message, a unique product that you have to explain. So, from time immemorial, people had been treating a pimple with a topical spot treatment.
Really quickly, can you just give us your pitch, just for this audience who didn't get to see it?
Well, it was really just treat the whole face. This is the product that we made. It doesn't make any sense to treat after the fact. The pimple is starting weeks before you ever see it, so you're constantly chasing pimples. So, that was the basic theme of those messages. And because what we did was we took, rather than an acne medicine, we created a skincare system, which really laid the foundation for what we did next also. A skincare system that was medicated, that every step built on the last step, so that the end result was that we could visibly change the quality of your complexion and give you literally the best skin of your life. So that was a whole paradigm shift of how products in that world that were problem solution oriented were being utilized. So we found that that was a method that really worked and that could apply to a whole host of other problems, which is what we did with rodan+fields.
So before we talk about rodan+fields, walk me through what was the trajectory. So you hit your infomercials, and then what happens in terms of your sales and in terms of your business?
So let's talk about Dave Velasco, wherever he is. Okay. He said, be open to opportunity, meet people. Any interaction could be.
Wait, this was on the Jeep and Safari?
No,
that was me.
So basically, that's what you want to take away here, because things don't just happen. We didn't want to tell anybody, including Katie's parents or mine, because they might blab our secret idea. So her mother did. Which shocked us because she never says anything that would give away a secret. So thank God she did. So that connection led to this encounter. Katie and I then had to take a chance with a company we weren't sure about in a whole new world that's so different from what we came from, medicine. Nice docs don't go on TV. So we were the first ones in that arena, and it was great fun. We went from, white coats and button-down shirts to like glamorous, woo, fun. We got to have makeup and Vanessa Williams and all the movie stars, Judith Light. I mean, in fact, the Golden Ring was proactive. There have been 20 plus movie stars and singers who have pitched for us. They all did have acne, and they were authentic. So it was really a lot of fun in those years. What was the trajectory?
Yeah,
straight
give us some
up.
numbers.
Straight up. They were gobsmacked. Do you know the word?
Yes,
Is it British? So they fell over because they hadn't seen anything like this. Infomercial. You watch your TV, you picked up something called a phone, it was attached to a line, and you dialed a number, and they could track the phone. They said, we've never seen anything like this. But in the privacy of your own home, you could take a stigmatizing condition and privately order your acne cream. You didn't have to go down to a grocery store. Nobody needs to judge you because you're buying that stuff. Maybe it's a condom. Maybe it's a tampon. You don't want to have everybody knowing what's in your basket. So acne is in that category. So it was a 30-minute opportunity to teach people about their skin in the privacy of their own home. That was the timing. It was the right product. It was the right message. In the right time, there were only 60 channels. Now there are 80,000 channels. It all came together. So serendipity, as well as products that work, came together in the year 95 for the last 20 years.
So then you decided that was such a hit you were going to do it again. You identified a different problem to solve with rodan+fields.
Well,
and a different distribution platform.
That's true. We were speaking with Lloyd earlier, and we were saying, really, when you're an entrepreneur, you just, it's something that is inside of you. You can't really just let it go after you create a product and you have it successful. You don't want to stop. And we were still practicing, and we still are still practicing dermatologists, so we continue to see problems. We hear from our patients, we dig through their purses, we see what, kind of products and skincare, cosmetics, and everything else that they have, and we learn about new issues. And what we can tell you with our training is no one has perfect skin. We all have some issue that we want to overcome. Whether it is acne, or whether it's sensitive skin, or it's wrinkles, or it's discolorations, there's a whole host of problems. And we knew with our training, because I think we came from a very unique place. We're women, so we care about beautiful aesthetics with products. We're dermatologists, so we understand what goes wrong with the skin to cause a problem and how to fix it. And then we had a background of, by then, many years of product development. So when you put those three things together, it was like magic. And in identifying other common skin concerns that people had, we created other skincare regimens to address each specific problem. We went back to Guthy-Renker. They were not interested in taking that business on. And we thought, well, we're just going to do it on our own. And it was Rodan+Fields, and we started it. And we started off selling these products in retail. Macy's and Bergdorf's and Fred Siegel here in LA, that's right.
And then you were bought by Estee Lauder.
Yes.
And you were pretty excited, I would imagine, to be bought by Estee Lauder.
Right.
It's true.
Timing is everything. The year is 203. I remember it well. 203 to
I'm glad, because I
207.
can't even remember what year I graduated medical school.
Well, this was memorable in what wasn't going on. It's 203 to 207, and you could go bowling down a Macy's. There just wasn't the foot traffic unless it was sale in big red letters and they were giving you a free perfume or something. So Katie and I became their marketing wheel. Every Saturday, Katie and I were going across the country because we were those famous proactive doctors. So their marketing strategy was a little flawed. Word of mouth when you can reach, 1 million households by TV is one thing, but Katie and I in the middle of a Macy's one store. So the good news is we got it back. We knew we wanted to do something different and better because, again, we're compelled to help people live better in their skin. And a little funny thing happened with Estee Lauder. One of our publicists had a meet and greet in her home. And the TV stations came out to learn about Rodan+Fields, 2007, 2006. And the people there said, we'd like to sell it. I said, wow, a doctor in your home, a doctor's visit, a house call. So then things changed again. Go ahead.
Well,
you can
pick it up. Keep going?
Yeah, keep going. So the story keeps going.
So you had this aha moment because doctors wanted to sell it themselves.
Not doctors,
in their home.
just people
like
that come
anybody
to her
in their
home.
home.
Anybody,
Okay.
yeah.
So you bought Rodan+Fields back from Estee Lauder.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. And they said, great, take it.
No, so basically, it was, this was right about at that time. There were kind of three things that were happening. One is, as Kathy mentioned, you saw the decline of the department store business. Retail was really shifting. That was one thing. The rise of social media, the way in which people were shopping, people were buying from people. The reason that we discovered that why we were successful in department stores was because of word of mouth. Your best friend, your skin changes. It's natural to say, hey, what are you using? Where'd you get that stuff? And then they'd send them to our counter. And we had a little bit of experience with this kind of direct selling channel, just in terms of speaking at some of their conferences, and thought, I like the idea of this word of mouth idea. How can we utilize that, but do it in a very different way? Because there was a lot about the direct selling world we didn't like. And so we went to Estee Lauder and we said, we would like to pull ourselves out of department stores. We'd like to sell this product differently. And we'd love to invite you to join us, because they were our partners, they actually owned us, to join us, and let's do it differently. And you can take a risk on us because we're such a tiny brand for you compared to Clinique and Bobby Brown and MAC and all their other big brands. And they weren't really interested. It was the recession. They were looking elsewhere. And so they allowed us to buy ourselves back. And so we did. We took it back. And then we thought, we're going to literally sit down and create a new model, a disruptive way of selling this product, because we disrupted the market once before with Proactive. We can do it again in terms of how we're going to sell this product.
And at that point, there really wasn't, sometimes they call it social selling or social commerce. You were really the first ones in that space, and others followed, like Jessica and Dot or other social sellers who sort of describe it as reinventing the Avon model. What did you learn about selling that way?
Well, we evolved. So 2008 we launched and we failed. So in case nothing is a straight line, guys. Forget it. It's a torturous experience.
Wait, 2008 you launched and you failed.
We launched our new rodan+fields in our new company, no more Estee Lauder, and it failed. There's technical glitches in our infrastructure. And so a few $1 million more, no more 30,000 to build a company. But with bigger investment and great risk, personally, it's just Katie and I here. And there was no big daddy to bail us out, no Estee Lauder. So we took on the full responsibility and built a company literally from a little card table to now we have over 600 employees. There are 300,000 people who are independent consultants. We have millions of customers. So it grew, but it didn't go in a straight line. And so you didn't get your smartphone really till 2011. So we hung on, and we're back to running around the country. Katie and I, Amnon, he was driving. Got one speeding ticket, it's okay. But we literally had to start this baby up from zero and grow it till it got traction. So it was a hard slog.
And what propelled you through that slog? Because you had one massive hit on your hands.
Yeah.
Why not just leave it at that and say, okay, let's try something else? Like, what kept you going?
Because, really, again, I think that one of the most important characteristics of an entrepreneur is tenacity. You don't give up. If you really believe in something, you're going to find a way to make it work. So, I've never been afraid of falling down because I know I can get up and start running again. And I think just looking in terms of new ways of how we're going to reorient or refigure this business to really reach the right people and get the message out. And it starts very slowly. I mean, I could tell you about the funniest thing was our first kind of business launch that we had, and it was in Philadelphia. And we are going to, start this business. We put the word out there, and we meet with the press, and we have these street teams handing out flyers, advertising. The doctors from Proactive are going to be there, and we think this is going to go really well. So this is what Kathy was referring to back in 2008. This is going to go really well. We're going to fill a ballroom. It was like at least this big. We're going to have all these people there, and it's going to be wonderful. And of course, they're going to want to join us because Proactive was such a success, of course. And we're there, and kickoff time is at 1 o'clock, and we look out, and there's like 6 people out there, and one of them's my aunt, And then, we get a few employees coming in, and it was just a disaster. And you talk about, oh no, this is not going to work. But I remember looking at my husband saying, do you think we're going to make it? And he said, I don't know, but we got to keep trying. So,
and when did the turning point come?
So
what was it?
So, and it happens with many businesses, again, very organically. It's not just one thing that happens, but it started really one of the people who was selling our product in a department store decided she wanted to sell it. And then she got her daughter. And it sort of started to grow and stumble through there. But eventually people began using the product. And if you use the product and you see how your skin changes and your friends start asking you about it, then you think, well, maybe I should be selling it. And slowly it just kind of took off and then really snowballed.
And is there a moment where you saw the snowball effect kick in? Like,
Yeah,
it was a hockey stick, really, right?
traction. So went from flip phones to smartphones.
Oh, so it literally was the
Technology, and because we were so small, we were able to pivot quick. These big companies can't do that, and they have their legacy behind them, where we didn't have any legacy, it broke. So we had to build it from scratch again. So that was an advantage, and again, that tenacity. So in the 5 minutes that are sitting on the floor there, one of our greatest feelings about this company is the culture we created. We are grateful for the brand ambassadors who carry our products. We are the keepers of the integrity of the brand. So when you use our products, there's a picture or camera on the box, and the camera is telling you to prove it. We want you to prove it to yourself that this product is changing your skin and improving your skin. So that's our job. Katie and I don't run the business. We have a CEO, a magnificent team. A lot of them are women in all the key spots, which we're very proud of. They're creative, innovative, and collaborative. And so we're very proud of the culture we've created internally and externally with rodan+fields.
And I would just add to that and say that I think the biggest surprise of this whole business journey is, getting back to, the momentum and the people that we started to attract. And the people that we started to attract who sell our products are known as consultants. That's their title. And these are dynamic women, beautiful women, smart women, women who have many other options. They're lawyers. In fact, at a convention of ours, I met 3 MDs from USC, so here we had that in common. I mean, they are just doing so well with their business. But these are women who have choices. And if they look at corporate America today, the mega change that is happening is that women want it all. We want to be moms, we want to have a wonderful family life, and we want to have a business. And that's very hard to do in a corporate structure. So as my dad taught me, in order to really have it all, you have to be your own boss. You have to make your own money, you have to be in charge of your own destiny. And what the business enables people to do is to have that choice and to empower so many amazing women who we love to be around. I mean, these are fun, incredible women. I think there's a few of them even in this room maybe. But fun, incredible, smart women who have a choice but are doing this because this is the new, what's new and lying ahead for all of us entrepreneurs.
One last question, minute left. Ladies, where are you headed next? Because we want to go with.
Well, that's easy. World domination. Pregnant pause. One more thing that I need to say about our consultants who came. We had a big convention in Las Vegas the week of October 4th to the 8th, right after the massacre that occurred there. A lot of conventions pulled out. Rodan+fields did not. 12,000 people came. 100 people maybe had a cold, but that's all. That couldn't make it. 12,000 came. They came to donate blood, to make food packages for the firemen, the first responders, the police. They came there to donate time for mental health. The group of people that are the rodan+fields culture is so extraordinary. So in this world now of anxiety, it's such a beautiful, warm culture to be part of, and that's what keeps Katie and I going and keeps our inventions coming to be able to deliver to what's happening with this group.
Ladies, thank you very much. The cardinal and gold pairing is particularly appreciated. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And now I'd like to introduce Lloyd Greif and have him come on up to the stage, the chairman of Greif & Co., and of course the benefactor of the Lloyd Greif Center for Entrepreneurial Studies. And he's going to come and present the Entrepreneurs of the Year Award to you, ladies. So I'm going to switch places with Mr. Greif. Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you, Willow. As Lloyd is walking up here, I want to give you one piece of advice as a female entrepreneur, and that is the most important business decision you will ever make, ladies, is who you marry. And that is really true. I married a magnificent human being, and without him, I never could have done this. So it is really important.
Hamlin, you want to stand up and take it back? So, Katie, Kathy, this is 2017, and you are our Entrepreneurs of the Year. So let's talk a little bit about that. One of the things that's very unique is serial entrepreneurship in and of itself is unique, let alone to have serial entrepreneurs who are partners for both businesses. Do you understand how difficult it is to have a 50-50 partner? It means if you do not agree, nothing happens, right? So think about that. So they've gone through 2 businesses as 50-50 partners, and not only have they agreed, they've spectacularly succeeded. We're talking about serial entrepreneurs with billion-dollar businesses behind them. And I want to cap it off. You've seen, during the course of the day, you've seen the logo behind you, and you've seen that dancing dot pattern. And if you look at this is a 3D rendition of it. This this cardinal dot at the top that you see that Helena has as well. So this is everybody else, right? The black, or there the gold, and the dot on top is these 2 ladies and all of you in this room. So this is the entrepreneur dancing, marching to the beat of their own drummer, doing, apart from the crowd, taking those risks, creating those enterprises, creating value for consumers. The culture of this company that they described is impressive. The tenacity, there was a lot of gems that came from what the 2 of them discussed that I think you got a class in entrepreneurship just in the last 45 minutes. So without further ado, we'd like to congratulate Katie Rodan and Kathy Fields, the 2017 Lloyd Greif Center for Entrepreneurial Studies Entrepreneurs of the Year.
Thank you.